to publishers and they're saying, we are going to take ad quality seriously, but where do you start?
If you're thinking about whether or not to make the investment, don't think about the revenue lost. Think about the revenue gained from you retaining your users.
Bad ads don't just annoy people. They damage trust. They drain revenue. They push people, players, users away from your app. And with this in mind, we have Player First Perspectives. It's a new series here powered by App Harbor where I talk to people on the front lines who are fixing this problem, who are doing something or giving us a playbook to do something about it. And today, I have a bit of all three together because I'm joined by Rakuten Viber's Programmatic Partnerships Manager, Sebastian Totté, who is here to unpack how a global messaging app puts people first and helps keep the ad auction healthy. As I said, the series is Player First Perspectives, but in your case, Sebastian, it's really people first because we're thinking about families, we're thinking about friends, small businesses, because Viber is a messaging app. It brings people together. It's where the experience needs to be great, the ads need to be safe, relevant, respectful. First of all, great to have you. And maybe you can tell us a little bit about how you go about that at Viber.
Absolutely. And thanks for having me. At Viber, the user experience and ad quality is very important to us. And we are working with a solution that helps us monitor all of our ads, in addition to our ad serving platforms and networks where we have set up additional blocks. But for us, ad quality is the most important thing because we're user first, focusing on the user experience and ensuring high quality experience for the people using our app on a daily basis.
I called it a messaging app, so we sort of understand what that is. But for anyone who doesn't know the full Rakuten Viber story, maybe you can tell me a little bit about the app experience. What are you building? Where do ads fit in? What's the experience look like for users?
Sure. So at Viber, we are building meaningful connections that bring people together. At the moment, we are a super app where we're trying to cover all the aspects of a person's day-to-day. So our core is a messaging app, which is secure, end-to-end encrypted. And then we have also additional services that we're adding, a marketplace, dating features, payments. So a wide variety of tools and services that we provide people that allow them to, connect with family and friends, but also, make payments and potentially also find a romantic partner.
So it covers all aspects of life, which is, exciting for you as a company, but challenging for you when I think about being a programmatic partnerships manager, because at one level, you want to unblock as much as possible because you want to stay competitive and you want to be paying attention to what you need to do to monetize your app. But you're also the person who's going to get that call when there's a bad review of the app or a screenshot of a dodgy ad or an auto direct that didn't meet with what a user was expecting, taking them off to some other website. So how do you navigate this internal conversation between, at one level you want to have more demand, more revenue, right? And then there's the other that says, no, we protect our users and above all, we protect our brand.
Yeah. So my goals are to maximize revenue. I think that's probably similar to a lot of people working ad monetization. And the main sort of driver against ad revenue would be, blocking ads. We want to maximize the ads that are delivered because that will lead to more impressions, more conversions, and helping our advertisers reach their goals. And therefore, maximizing ad delivery is what's going to drive that revenue. Though on the other side, we need to protect our users and make sure that it is a brand safe environment. So there is a clear trade-off between, wanting to maximize revenue and protecting the user experience. And the way we look at it at Viber is it's more of a growth lever and not a tax, where by protecting users, we are ensuring that users stay with Viber, that they're comfortable, they have a good experience. And if we show a bad ad, this will, break that trust, result in a bad experience, and they would leave. So long-term lifetime value will be reduced and damaged. So we will do whatever we can to remove any sort of low quality ads or even malicious ads that somehow always find their way onto our apps. Whatever we do, we have block lists on Google, Meta, and now this additional solution, which actually is making a huge difference for us. And it's early days working with the solution, but we're already seeing very positive results.
I want to unpack that in a moment, but I do want to go back to exactly that. It's about doing the smart thing for revenue, but also ad quality, and in your case, the community, if it's going to be what you want it to be, which is an integral part of their lives, it's where they message, where they meet, where they're dating, hopefully, definitely making payments. Where do you see ad quality adding the most value to your business across those operations? Or maybe it's just, your goal to be what you want to be, which is a super app. So it adds value everywhere. But I'm curious, where do you see it?
Kind of the first thing that we look at in terms of working with a partner and getting high quality ads, and it trumps revenue. So it will always, it doesn't matter, if this is going to generate, X number of dollars a day. If it is in any way low quality or, like poor user experience, causing auto redirects, we block it immediately. Because this is the most important thing for us, is to ensure that the ads that people see are high quality and are also delivering a good user experience for people using our app.
Because it's that thing that people forget, Sebastian, the app experience and the ad experience, you might think of them as separate, but the user, the people using the app, the consumer, they don't. They see it as one and the same. You are the company you keep.
Absolutely. I think the damage that it does to the user experience when someone sees a bad ad is larger than people expect. And they are one, as you said. We think that a high quality ad experience actually drives a lot of value. There is this perception around ads being something that are annoying and that disrupt the user experience. But when you have high quality, well targeted ads, they actually add a lot of value and helping people connect with businesses they might be interested in. So it is part of the experience. Just making sure that it's a positive experience is key, because there's always those bad actors out there that are trying to game the system and fool people into all sorts of scams and other malicious intent.
And it's going to get harder, because I was talking to some marketers. They were saying, we have the good intent. We want to be the good actor. But now they're telling me that, there are some networks that have, it's in the design. So it's almost intrusive by design is what people are calling it. And that's something you also need to be aware of. And there's not a lot that you can do about that.
Yeah, it is tricky, though, they're coming up with their new ways to deliver ads, and we're coming up with our own new protections. So the new solution that we're using actually for the first time allows us to get a complete picture of the ads that are being served on our app. And we're able to block things, almost immediately. If it is something that we've set up in advance that we want to block, we can, block that before someone even sees the ad. And it also gives us unique insights into the types of ads that we're running. Well, before we had to rely on, Google's ad quality review tool or Meta, or reaching out to the individual demand channels. Now we have one consolidated view of all the ads running across our apps, and we're able to, really see who are the bad actors, what type of ads these are, whether they're fall under, our content policy, so blocking alcohol in specific countries, or maybe, explicit content where maybe they're like swimsuits, but look a bit too close to something that might be inappropriate in certain countries. And now we finally have this control. So it is kind of a cat and mouse game, but we are definitely investing heavily into the tools that allow us to manage this and perform, to have, a great user experience.
I mean, you mentioned that, and there was some press coverage recently, actually, in the UK, about Vinted, right? It's supposed to be a clothing ad, but to your point, a little on the other side of that, because in fact, it was the headline in BBC, Vinted blocks sickeningly sexual ads, destinations where you wouldn't think that this would be an issue. And I was looking at your tool, your metrics are showing you that you block around 2% of activity is currently being blocked in your BI that you were showing me. I mean, as an observer, this seems to me like to be a massive number. But, how do you interpret that inside of Viber, inside of your business? You're blocking 2% of the ads.
It's a worthwhile trade-off. There is, there's no appetite internally for any sort of leeway here. We want to block, anything that is even on the line of potentially being something that our users would not like. Sexually explicit content, that's easy. We can just disable that. That shouldn't be running on, we shouldn't be receiving that from our demand partners. And sometimes they are gamed as well, and we understand that. And, sometimes we're also part of, flagging this to them and helping them take it down. We receive, on a regular basis, screenshots from people with adult ads. And before it was, hunting for the ad across all the different platforms. And it was very time consuming. We spent a lot of time kind of looking for these bad offenders. And now with our new tools, the platform that we're using, it's making everything a lot easier. We're able to review the scanned ads, or just search it with the text and block it immediately if it hasn't already been caught by our existing block list policy.
Where does it sit on your business agenda today, given that it's what you can see and block, as well as what you can't see and you have to detect, and that's where you need the tools to do it?
Yeah, so I'm happy to actually talk about one of our partners here, App Harbor by GeoEdge. The tools that they're giving us allow us to block multiple different types of categories. So we set up individual policies for specific countries, and then we have a global policy. Then within the platform, there's different kind of policy settings. So at a high level, we have the security policy setting, and that's blocking the auto redirects and anything that's like obviously malicious. And there's actually two ways to block things. So there's the kind of report and then block. So the security is always block. So we don't allow any of that. Then it goes to content. And there you have different categories like alcohol, swimwear, sexual, and there we can get more granular. So we're blocking specific categories that are maybe sensitive or ones that we don't want at all. We have the user-defined section where we're blocking individual domains. Potentially, these are competitors or a domain where we regularly receive poor quality ads, and we're blocking a lot of those. So maybe they're like auto expand or autoplay with sound, so they're more like user focused. It does give us a lot of control. We really value the partnership with App Harbor. It's actually a very close partnership. So the reason I say that is because we don't typically give a partner so much access within our ad delivery system. So their SDK is able to block an ad from being served, which is kind of a high level of permission. It's one of the highest levels of permission that you can get within our app. With other demand channels, SDKs, they give us an ad, we decide whether to deliver it. App Harbor is different, where they can actually block any of our demand partners from serving an ad. So it's kind of a very close partnership. We work very closely with them.
First, you need transparency to have control, and that's just it. Many publishers I'm talking with, they're like, well, we know ourselves what's acceptable and what isn't, but we can't go that granularly. We don't have that visibility. We can't be blocking what we'd want to be blocking. I mean, you talked about your block list. It's fascinating how granular that is. I mean, how are you using that? Is there like a feedback element here to say, this is what we're seeing, so therefore we can now even better define what's acceptable, what's borderline, what's absolutely not allowed, because you're working from the categories that you have developed and that you're getting more granular as you go. So it would make sense that there's some sort of feedback there.
Absolutely. So we started with setting it to report and then just seeing what we get. The most sensitive categories were blocked from the start, but we have both. So we had the block lists within, Google's platform, Meta's platform, and we still have those. But now we've added App Harbor, and this allows us to have full visibility across all channels in one place. We're blocking a lot of things, but either on a report level while still maintaining the other block lists. And then we're going to, review what is being flagged and then adjust the policies accordingly. If we then see, actually a high number of kind of risky ads are going through this specific channel and, Meta's block list isn't blocking it, ads that are being delivered from a low quality standpoint, then we will update our policies.
It's exciting to hear that it's what you're using to continually review your policies, because many publishers, they aren't as far as you, first of all, and they're just thinking about, oh, we need policies. But you're on a journey where it's not just putting the basics into place, you're optimizing that and being more granular. How are you also approaching the enforcing and the consistency in enforcing? Because that's where you are. You're at the stage where this isn't just a policy. This is like, the way of operating at Viber.
Yeah, we are reviewing everything on a regular basis. We're kind of constantly reviewing and iterating our approach, and ensuring that we want to maximize revenue where we can, but also focusing on users. So yeah, it's very important to us.
Just curious, because that is such a hard decision, and it's one that rests with you, Sebastian, so I don't envy you. But, you do have to make that call. You do have to say that this is something we're going to enforce. At the same time, you can't treat ad quality as if it is not important to your business. So are there like questions you ask yourself, data you look at. I mean, you have to make that decision. It's a hard one to make, and there's not going to be a rule of thumb that's going to be right for everyone. But making that decision and feeling comfortable about that decision, that is tough. How are you making it?
Yeah. So first of all, it's very much a team effort. I'm not the only one that is working on this. We have a few people in our team that are looking at it, and I think the way you can make that trade-off is adding as much granularity as possible. So we do have country level block lists that allows us to serve ads, for example, alcohol ads within the United Kingdom or Germany, but not the UAE. So there are sort of those easy wins. But ultimately, it's around what is in line with our business and what kind of makes sense for the users. So it also depends on if we have a demand channel that is delivering a lot of swimwear ads, but they just are a bit too risque. The main decision is around protecting our users, and even if it's going to reduce revenue, in the long term, it will generate more revenue because we're retaining those users. And if we do serve the ad, then we might risk losing them.
What I like about your approach is that you're also seeing that it's something you can't do in isolation. It's your apps, demand partners, tech, App Harbor, others. It all comes together. So how do you bring your policies into your relationships with the other ad networks, exchanges that you're working with? Because again, it is a system that you've built, and bringing that into practice with your other partners, it's makes you a bit of an enforcer, Sebastian, but but maybe something a bit more collaborative than that.
Yeah, it's a really good question. We did have a feedback loop before when we did receive an ad that was low quality, and then we did message it to our demand partners. Now with App Harbor, I do see that feedback loop would be limited because we'll just block it directly in App Harbor, and maybe the offenders won't know. They will see that they have delivered an ad and we've decided not to show it. So there is metrics we can look at in terms of the render rate or impression rate, where we've delivered a lot of ads but you haven't shown any, and we can check, okay, well, we've blocked most of them because they were really low quality. So there is that feedback loop where we can look at it from the data, but we should also probably look into ways where we can maybe provide a report of these are the top blocks that we've implemented. Here are the amount of ads that we've received from you guys, and please try to address it, because all of this also costs. There is a cost associated to scanning all of your ads and blocking them. So it's an investment we're more than happy to make, but ideally, we wouldn't have so much ad quality issues that we have to address.
That's an interesting thought, though, really, because if you were to give a report like that, because I'm sure that some of them, I'm hearing from them as well, it's talking about intrusive by design, as you said, it's like an arms race in a way. And maybe those other partners need to know that and would do something as well, because it is an ecosystem problem. And I'll get to that in a moment. What do we do about ad quality? But for right now, having the controls and being able to set them up more granular than the default controls in something like Meta and Google, that is an extremely important point. I mean, what does this mean in practice for the deceptive ads, or the ones that you're able to block before users ever see them?
It means that they won't be able to serve on our app anymore. We're going to block, anything that's deceptive, and they need to, find another channel. And it's tools like App Harbor that allow us to take back that control. We just need to keep investing in our technologies to help us fight the scammers and the bad actors.
And to your point, the ad networks, they see this as well. That's why they're investing in it as well. And so we're having this momentum. Looking at why to do this, we've discussed it, but of course, for many publishers, they want to see it more as, what to measure, what to look at. The metrics you said, then we have higher retention. We have users that are happy. They're not going to be disrespecting and complaining in social, but maybe there's a metric or a set of metrics. What are you looking at when you're saying that ad quality made a difference?
It's a good question. I think the immediate thing is, less user complaints. That is something that, takes time out of my day and my colleagues' day, trying to track down who that is. So there will be something that we'll notice. I think we've already noticed it. And the other area, as you mentioned, was the retention. It is hard to measure. If someone posts on the App Store like a comment saying, "Hey, I saw this deceptive ad," to associate it to that, ad that we've then blocked is going to be very hard. However, we are constantly measuring retention, and it's something that we'll look at over a long period and review that. But immediately, it will definitely be a number of incidents reported to us, and whether they come from external, internal sources.
And there's another interesting note, maybe for publishers who are listening in, that you're also able to see, the domains and apps targeting your inventory the most. So that might be helpful information going forward, when you're looking at your direct deals or you're looking at your sales or how to structure how you work with your partners. So maybe that's also an interesting benefit from looking at all the ads as what you're doing.
That's right. I think this is kind of the cherry on the cake where, you are protecting users, but you do get the insights. If you do have a direct sales team, which, we have in our local markets, and it's a significant portion of our revenue, that's, being able to see all the domains and then understand, who are the advertisers behind that allows us to, maybe go direct and do a PG or a PMP deal. So the more data, the better.
Yeah. I mean, it's helped you build a playbook, and we have to think about everyone. You have a strategy in place. So you are ahead of the curve, Sebastian. That's why I have you here on the show, because I talk to publishers and they're saying, we are going to take ad quality seriously, but, where do you start? So if they're starting and they want to build the playbook similar to yours,
if you're thinking about whether or not to make the investment, don't think about the revenue lost. Think about the revenue gained from you retaining your users, and it's really a long-term strategy and something that you probably already have in place. Within Meta or Google or another channel, there is going to be some block lists. So replicating that on a solution like App Harbor by GeoEdge, is not too complicated. It is an investment, but it definitely pays off over the long term.
And there's something you've said for starting somewhere. As you said, something as simple as taking those block lists and using that as a starting point, because the real benefit comes when you can get more and more granular. And you can only get more and more granular because you see what's coming through and you have an idea what makes sense to block, because there are going to be different, flavors of what you want to block. Again, you're balancing that revenue against the ad quality. So maybe as you go deeper, you can be more precise and keep really everyone happy, the business as well as your users.
Yeah, I can see how it would be overwhelming. So when I log into App Harbor, I can see every ad that was shown. That's billions of ads. So there's no way that, you can possibly review them all. Though, you can take it bit by bit. So, moving over your existing block lists and replicating what you have on the other platforms and then iterating from there, allows you to kind of move closer in and move to a solution where you have that control, and step by step, and then just iterating over time. But definitely worth having someone that dedicates part of their time or all of their time to ensuring a high quality user experience. And I guarantee you will get buy-in from everyone on the product side, on the leadership side, and the operations side, because in the long term, it's going to save everyone time and make more money.
And we're going to iterate more. I think that we're going to also start looking at the KPIs that we're going to measure, because we are making a strong case for this. And it's an interesting position because you have a front row view. As you said, you can drink from the fire hose if you want, but you're also viewing monetization, product, ad quality. They're all converging together in this ad quality experience. Looking ahead the next 12, 24 months, what do you see changing most? I mean, we're talking about automation, AI, stricter regulation is coming definitely just around the corner. What's on your radar?
Ads that are AI generated, I would see that as a potential thing in the horizon. We need to understand how our users react to those ads. Maybe that will fall under the bucket of something that we might want to block because they're just not trustworthy. Maybe there's some negative sentiment that builds up around it. So something that we are going to monitor. Also, potentially, with AI, there will be an increase of more sophisticated types of scams, additional redirects that, initially when they are scanned, it looks fine. And then AI can do something, that allows it to get through. It's going to be interesting how things evolve. The same tools that we're going to use to, AI tools that we're going to use to block things, I'm sure the scammers will also use to try and get their bad ads through. So it's going to be a cat and mouse game, but we're definitely seeing that AI is probably going to be one of the big challenges where it's going to cause potentially more bad ads. But as it stands today, we have some pretty powerful tools to block them.
Yeah, and that is coming as well because more marketers I'm speaking with in Admon, they're saying, well, it's fraud, but it's on a different level now. We're not just talking about ad quality. We're also going to be talking about the level and sophistication of fraud, yet again, evolving. So you're absolutely right on that one.
It's going to be a big one to look out for. It's definitely something that we're monitoring. And besides that, regulation as well is something that we're constantly on top of, and any changes we're monitoring and implementing new regulatory requirements wherever they come up. So something that we're also very much invested in, and our product team is on top of.
We spoke about evolution, and I mean, everyone is more than just a title. Impressive though your title is, Sebastian. But, we talked about the roadmap and what's coming at Viber. But how about yourself? Particular project or goal you're excited about? I mean, one, definitely not just being on my podcast, but maybe have I started? I don't know. Maybe I have started you down that road. You'll be reappearing in articles and other projects. But what is it that maybe, is on the radar for you?
I have recently joined Viber, and I really enjoy the company and the people. And for me, I'm focused on trying to maximize our revenue at Viber. We are constantly looking at bringing in new partners and new technologies. I'm really just enjoying all the new things that are coming up for me personally. I come from a background of 10 years working on the ad tech side, on the network side. So being on the publisher side is relatively new, and really it's been very rewarding, learning a lot. And there's always something new that's coming up, always a new sort of partner, ad partner, or a new technology. So we talked a lot about GeoEdge and App Harbor, but there are other tools like IntoWow, which is doing our floor price optimization on an hourly basis. That's a longer conversation, but constantly see new tools that we can test. And there are various other things that we're also doing at Viber that, have me coming out of bed in the morning with a bit of excitement to come to the office. So, for me, it's just trying to learn more and help the business grow.
Well, that's what I like about our conversation, Sebastian, because I remember in prep you mentioned new formats coming, new testing. I mean, it is really, always on experimentation there. So it's going to be fantastic to connect with you about this topic, but others, because you are seeing and proving how ad quality is a growth lever, and also the ad experience, how that's evolving and how that's going to evolve and contribute more to the bottom line and to the long term, to the long haul as well. So I would say that not only just for me, but I would encourage our audience as well to connect with you, because I think that it's always worth a conversation with you, Sebastian.
Well, absolutely. I'm happy to connect with your audience and always looking to meet new people. I'm available. I love to connect with anyone on the publisher side or on the network side. And also, thank you so much for having me today. And, it's been a great conversation.
Well, absolutely. And we'll do this again, Sebastian. And we also have a Slack channel where everyone can join into the conversation about this. So they can join in, talk about this episode with you, or whatever else they have on their mind. You have fresh ways of thinking about ad quality. And that, of course, is the Player First Collective. And I'll have more about that in the show notes. But for right now, just want to thank you, Sebastian, and thank everyone for being here, for being part of the conversation. It is Player First Perspectives, and it's really about being that, people first. So I look forward to more conversations with you. And until then, well, of course, you can join in the conversation, share it with someone in your ad ops monetization team, someone who needs to think about ad quality in a fresh way. So until next time.